20 Cruise Secrets You Must Know 2025 Guide. Most cruisers spend thousands and still miss secrets that could save hundreds, unlock VIP perks, and completely change their onboard experience. In this video, you'll discover 21 cruise secrets, from hidden fare drops and quiet cabins to secret menus, tender hacks and budget leaks that every traveler should know before setting sail in 2025. Most cruisers think booking early guarantees the lowest price, but the truth is there's a tiny 72-hour window where fares can suddenly plunge dramatically. 1. The 72-hour fare drop rule cruise lines don't advertise. You probably wouldn't expect this, but the most dramatic cruise price drops don't happen months out. They hit within the final 72 hours before sailings close inventory. And here's the shocker. Cruise lines can't legally advertise these fire sale reductions in most regions due to fare integrity agreements. That means the cheapest deals exist in silence. Powerful, right? In real life, this can swing a balcony cabin from 1,100 euros down to 680 euros, without the cruise line ever posting it. Travel agents call this the quiet window, because only people who track fares manually or through back-channel alerts ever see it. The move: set price drop alerts on multiple platforms, not just one, and check twice daily in the last 72 hours, morning and late evening, because that's when unsold cabins get recoded. 2 checks. Big payoff. If you're flexible with departure ports, you can stack this with last-minute airline deals and cut your trip cost by a third. That's a game changer. Monitor fares aggressively in the last 3 days. This window is real and unbelievably profitable. 2. Why newer ships don't always offer the best experience. Ever wondered why people rave about older ships even when newer ones look objectively superior? It's because new doesn't automatically mean better. In cruising, it often means busier. Newer ships are built to maximize passenger capacity, not personal space. And that single design choice affects everything you feel on board. Here's the practical impact. Older mid-size ships have wider walkways, more lounge chairs per passenger, shorter buffet lines, and quieter decks. Newer megaships, while beautiful, often host 1,000 to 3,000 more people on only slightly larger footprints. A cruiser on a 2024 trial run described the contrast perfectly. The newest ship had every feature, but the older ship felt like my cruise. That's the emotional truth. Your move? If you prefer a calmer, more intimate vibe, choose ships built between 2008 and 2016. This era has the best balance of size, comfort, and crowd control. Don't pick based on launch year. Pick based on passenger-to-space ratio. Comfort beats novelty. Choosing the wrong cabin can ruin your sleep and comfort, but travel agents use a hidden formula to predict which cabins stay quiet, calm, and comfortable all cruise long. 3. The cabin location algorithm travel agents use. Picture this. You walk into your cabin, drop your bags, and only then realize the ceiling thumps at midnight or a service door slams every morning. Most cruisers learn about bad cabin placement after it ruins their sleep. But travel agents, they use a mental location algorithm long before booking anything, and it protects them every time. The real issue is vertical noise, not horizontal. Cabins directly under gyms, pool decks, nightclubs, and buffet kitchens endure rolling car stunts, dropped weights, and early morning prep. Meanwhile, cabins above theaters get hit with low-frequency bass that vibrates through the frame. Small detail, huge impact. Here's the algorithm. 1 deck above or below another cabin deck. 2. Midship, but not directly under public areas. 3. Avoid the first and last 10 cabins on any corridor. Simple pattern, massive payoff. Cruise veterans swear by this because it predicts quiet rooms with eerie accuracy. If a deck plan looks confusing, focus on the sandwich rule. Quiet cabin deck, your cabin, quiet cabin deck. Choose cabins insulated above and below. This is the ultimate noise shield. 4. Hidden loyalty perks you can access without sailing before. Here's something almost no first-timer realizes. You can access loyalty perks before ever stepping on a cruise ship. Cruise lines quietly partner with credit card programs, hotel groups, and airline loyalty systems. And those third-party tiers often auto-match you into cruise benefits. It feels like cheating the system. Imagine boarding your first cruise but already qualifying for priority check-in, complimentary laundry, or welcome aboard gifts usually reserved for returning passengers. These aren't loopholes, they're cross-industry status bridges. 2 programs. 1 advantage. For example, major hotel chains have status tiers that match into select cruise loyalty programs during seasonal promotions. Some banks also offer travel elite perks that grant express boarding or room category priority. Many cruisers walk past the priority lane not knowing they could have been in it. Wild, right? The key is timing. Status match windows open briefly, often twice per year, and they fill instantly. Watch for announcements through email lists or cruise deal forums. Opportunity knocks quietly. Look for status match promotions. Unlock loyalty perks before your first cruise sails. Boarding a ship at the wrong time turns your first day into chaos. But there's a precise 1-hour window that completely transforms embarkation and sets the tone for the entire trip. 5. The embarkation power hour window experts swear by. I once boarded a ship at noon and felt like I'd stumbled into peak airport chaos. Crowds everywhere, elevators jammed, restaurants overflowing. But a year later, an industry rep told me the secret that changed everything. The embarkation power hour, a tiny window that transforms your first day on board. Here's the reality cruise lines never highlight. Between 2:15 p.m. and 3:15 p.m., the ship hits a magical lull. Early birds have already rushed aboard, and late arrivals haven't shown up yet. During that hour, buffets are half empty, specialty restaurants accept walk-ins, and pool decks feel like private resorts. 1 hour. Huge impact. Security lines shrink. Cabin availability updates. Bartenders aren't slammed yet. Even guest services, normally a nightmare on day 1, moves twice as fast. It's the quiet eye of the embarkation storm. To use it, arrive at the port around 1:45 p.m., check in by 2:10, and board just as the lull begins. That timing unlocks the calmest experience of your entire first day. Target the 2:15 to 3:15 boarding window. Your embarkation day transforms instantly. 6. Underrated deck zones. With the best sleep quality, here's a truth you don't hear often. The quietest sleeps at sea don't come from the most expensive cabins. They come from the most strategically placed ones. On a ship, deck location changes everything, and even a perfectly chosen cabin can't compensate for a noisy deck zone. Placement matters more than price. The quietest areas are almost always on decks 7 to 9, mid-ship between 2 passenger decks. These levels sit far enough from engine vibrations yet remain safely away from late-night venues and early morning buffet prep. You're insulated from both directions. 2 buffers, 1 perfect zone. Cruisers often assume higher decks mean better sleep, but upper levels pick up wind noise, louder foot traffic, and more hallway echoes from families staying in bulkhead cabins. Here's the simple sleep formula. Choose midship between cabin decks. Avoid decks directly below pools or buffets. Skip bow and stern extremes. They amplify motion. It's surprising how consistent these patterns are across every major cruise line. For the quietest nights, target decks 7 to 9, midship, and sandwiched between cabin levels. Your assigned dining rotation isn't just about dinner. It secretly controls traffic crowding, and even pool and lounge availability, quietly shaping your entire onboard experience. 7. How dining rotations secretly determine your entire cruise. Imagine this. You're walking through the promenade at 6:45 p.m. and suddenly every hallway feels packed. Every elevator groans under the weight of hungry passengers, and every hostess stand is surrounded by confused families. Most people think this chaos is random, but it's not. It's the hidden rhythm of dining rotations, and they silently control how crowded your nights feel. Cruise lines stagger dinner times. Traditional dining, early seating, late seating, and flexible anytime dining. But what they don't tell you is how these schedules ripple across the ship. When early diners finish, bars fill. When late diners arrive, theaters empty. When flexible diners move unpredictably, traffic jams form. One schedule, total influence. Your real-world experience changes dramatically depending on which rotation you choose. Early dining gives you quieter theater seats. Late dining gives you calmer sunsets and emptier pools. Flexible dining gives you control but comes with unpredictable waits. The smart move is matching your dining slot to the kind of cruise atmosphere you want, not the other way around. Choose your dining rotation based on crowd flow patterns, not mealtime preference. 8. The Wi-Fi lockout cycle and how to beat it. Cruise Wi-Fi doesn't fail because it's bad. It fails because of a lockout cycle built into satellite bandwidth allocation. Every ship connects through a shared satellite grid that prioritizes different zones every 10 to 15 minutes. This shifting priority causes the sudden dropouts people blame on weak signals. Surprising, right? Here's the practical impact. When your zone isn't prioritized, your upload speeds plummet, even if the signal icon looks strong. Meanwhile, someone a few decks away gets flawless streaming. Same ship, different bandwidth. The trick is knowing when the cycle resets. Most ships sync their bandwidth prioritization around predictable moments: early mornings, post-dinner hours, and immediately after major shows end. That's when thousands log on at once, forming massive digital bottlenecks. If you upload content, FaceTime, or run remote work sessions, schedule them for off-cycle minutes, early morning before 8 a.m. or afternoon between 2 and 4 p.m. These windows deliver shockingly stable performance. Use Wi-Fi during bandwidth off cycles for the fastest, most reliable connection. Most passengers calculate drink package value wrong, missing hidden savings opportunities. The real trick isn't the number of drinks, it's which ones you drink and exactly when you drink them. 9. The truth about drink packages. Most people calculate wrong. Have you ever tried to calculate whether a drink package is worth it and ended up more confused than when you started? You're not alone, because the math most people use is flawed from the beginning. The real value of a drink package isn't about how many drinks you consume. It's about which drinks you consume and when you consume them. Subtle shift. Huge difference. Most cruisers estimate cost by multiplying the daily package rate by a rough drink count. But here's the catch. Premium coffees, bottled water, fresh juices, energy drinks, and certain mocktails quietly raise the value of packages far more than alcohol alone. Meanwhile, port stays destroy your calculations because you aren't on the ship drinking as much. 2 variables. Big distortion. A smart cruiser compares 2 numbers: cost of your normal hydration pattern per day, amount of time you'll actually be on the ship consuming. When those two align, packages can be a steal. When they don't, you overspend massively. Don't count drinks, count categories and onboard time. That's the real equation. 10. The port schedule trap that makes you miss the best spots. Most cruisers don't realize that the published port schedule isn't the same as the real port experience. Cruise lines strategically adjust arrival times, tender operations, and gangway openings to manage crowd flow and coordinate with port traffic. And those invisible decisions change what you actually see on land. It's the hidden clock behind every port. Here's how it plays out. Even if your itinerary says arrive 8 a.m., the first passengers may not step onto shore until 8:45 or 9 a.m. On tender ports, delays stretch even further. Meanwhile, local vendors often time their opening hours to the actual passenger flow, not the printed schedule. 2 clocks, 1 reality. The result? Many cruisers arrive too late to secure limited capacity experiences, like early morning photo spots, reef tours, or uncrowded hikes. The fix is simple. Use port traffic apps or marine trackers the night before to see when your ship realistically docks. This lets you plan your morning around truth, not brochure timing. Always check live docking times. Beat the crowd by planning around reality, not print. You might think you're limited to what's printed on the menu, but every ship has a hidden ordering system that allows custom meals and unlocks a world of culinary freedom. 11. The secret menu ordering system that works on every ship. Picture this. You sit down in the main dining room. The menu looks great, but nothing is exactly what you want. Most cruisers assume they're stuck choosing from the printed options. But the truth is, the dining room runs on a request-based system, not a menu-based system. And once you understand that, your entire dining experience upgrades instantly. Behind the scenes, cruise kitchens prepare base components: grilled chicken, pasta, steamed vegetables, sauces, broths, and side dishes that can be mixed and matched far beyond what's written. This is why experienced cruisers order off-menu dishes like grilled salmon with garlic rice or tomato soup with a side of fries. Hidden options. Huge freedom. Servers actually prefer when guests know how to request modifications, because it lets them deliver a personalized experience without slowing the kitchen. You're not asking for favors. You're using the system the way it was designed. If you want something simple, custom, or allergen-friendly, just phrase it as could the chef prepare a version of this with blank? Treat the menu as a suggestion. Use the request system for custom meals every night. 12. Why crew routines reveal the quietest moments on board. I once asked a longtime crew member how he always seemed to move around the ship at the perfect, calmest moments. He smiled and said, "We know the rhythms before the guests do." That sentence stuck with me because crew routines quietly reveal the true ebb and flow of the ship. Insightful, right? Every ship operates on predictable patterns. Cabin stewards finish morning service around 11 a.m., bartenders reset lounges between 4 and 5 p.m., and buffet teams switch meal setups between 3 and 4 p.m. These transition windows create natural quiet pockets across the ship. 2 shifts, 1 advantage. If you learn these rhythms, you'll find empty hot tubs, silent sun decks, open treadmills, and guest services lines with barely a soul in sight. It feels like you've unlocked a secret map. Watch where the crew is moving, not frantically working, but walking with purpose. That subtle movement signals a shift change or prep period, and those times are pure gold for avoiding crowds. Follow crew patterns to discover daily quiet zones. They reveal the ship's hidden rhythm. You think you're choosing freely in shops or photo areas? But the ship's layout, lighting, and announcements are designed to trigger impulsive buys. Here's how to avoid the trap. 13. The psychology behind onboard sales pressure. Ever wonder why you suddenly feel like you need that $120 tote bag or $15 souvenir photo on a cruise? It's not coincidence, it's deliberate psychology. Cruise lines engineer pressure points to make upsells feel urgent, even when they aren't. Subtle but powerful. Here's the reality. Flashlighting, limited-time announcements, strategic placement of gift shops near high-traffic areas, and photo preview stations all trigger the brain's scarcity response. Guests think, if I don't buy now, I'll miss out, even though the same products are available in port stores or online. 2 triggers. 1 outcome. Savvy cruisers recognize the cues. No need to rush. Step back, track the patterns, and decide later. Many purchases vanish once you leave the display or take a short break. This isn't theory. Behavioral studies show that timing delays and spatial separation reduce impulse spending by up to 60%. Resist immediate impulse. Observe, pause, then decide. Scarcity pressure loses power. 14. The tender priority hack that saves hours. Tender ports, where the ship anchors offshore and passengers are ferried to land, can be chaotic with hours spent waiting in lines. But a little-known insider trick called the tender priority hack can cut that wait drastically. Few cruisers use it, and it's shockingly effective. Here's the essence. Some loyalty tiers, certain specialty packages, and even onboard purchases give passengers priority boarding on tenders. It's not widely advertised, but asking politely at guest services or presenting loyalty cards can push you ahead. 2 minutes of prep. Hours saved. The real payoff, morning excursions start earlier. You get the first pick of tours, and popular local restaurants or photo spots are less crowded. One small move changes the entire shore experience. To use it, check your loyalty tier benefits before departure and confirm with guest services immediately upon boarding. Timing matters. The earlier, the better. Use loyalty or package perks to gain tender priority. Save hours, enjoy more. Even before booking, you can predict cabin noise by reading a ship's blueprint correctly. Foot traffic, machinery, and layout combine to determine sleep quality like nothing else. 15. How to read a ship's blueprint to predict noise levels. Have you ever wished you could see a cabin before booking, knowing exactly how noisy it would be? You actually can if you learn to read a ship's blueprint. Surprising, right? Every deck plan holds clues about vibration, foot traffic, and mechanical noise, if you know what to look for. The key: identify high traffic zones like elevators, stairwells, corridors, and public venues. Then locate mechanical areas, engine rooms, laundry, or galley zones. Cabins adjacent to these areas experience predictable disturbances. 2 overlays, 1 outcome. Experienced cruisers scan blueprints for quiet corridors, midship, sandwiched between passenger decks, away from heavy machinery. They even factor in bow versus stern. Forward cabins feel more pitch, aft cabins more vibration. Small adjustments in location make huge differences in sleep quality. Action steps: compare the blueprint, note traffic/machine zones, and pick cabins at the midpoint of low-impact decks. This simple method can turn restless nights into uninterrupted sleep at sea. Read blueprints carefully. Deck plus corridor plus machine zones predict cabin quietness. 16. The hidden economy of shore excursions and how to beat it. Did you know that booking shore excursions on board can cost 50 to 100% more than independent options? Yet many cruisers also overpay online because they ignore hidden fees. Welcome to the hidden economy of shore excursions. 2 traps, 1 costly mistake. Cruise lines profit quietly from the convenience factor. Prepaid tours lock in passengers early, sometimes bundle transport fees, and occasionally mark up local guides. Independent bookings like local taxis, walking tours, or certified guides can save hundreds without reducing experience quality. Dual fact? Big difference. Savvy cruisers do research weeks before departure. Compare the onboard cost with port operators, check reviews for reliability, and factor in timing from tender or dock arrivals. Sometimes the cheapest option isn't what's first, it's the one you plan carefully. A simple rule: treat onboard excursions as insurance. Book only if independent options are unavailable or too risky. Otherwise, local options are almost always cheaper, more flexible, and less crowded. Compare onboard versus independent tours. Don't pay convenience premiums blindly. The gentle sway you notice at 2 a.m. isn't random. It signals how the ship will behave the next day, predicting conditions for excursions, water sports, and shore arrivals. 17. Why late-night ship movement predicts tomorrow's weather. Ever notice the gentle sway at 2 a.m., then woke up to rough seas? That's not coincidence. Ships subtly shift in response to overnight wind and tide patterns, giving early clues about tomorrow's conditions. Surprising, right? Here's the real-world impact. Experienced cruisers watch late-night deck movement to plan morning activities. Stern sway suggests choppy seas forward, bow rocking signals, rough tender landings, and minor rolling can predict wet weather patterns near ports. 2 observations. 1 practical insight. For instance, a calmer aft deck indicates the ship has aligned with the current, meaning more stable tender operations the next morning. Conversely, noticeable rolling near the midship pool signals heavier waves, making early morning excursions or water sports less comfortable. The trick? Observe early morning motion patterns from your cabin or deck, then cross-check with weather apps and onboard announcements. Small habits yield significant advantages for those who schedule excursions, run remote work, or just want smooth mornings. Track late-night ship movement. It predicts tomorrow's stability and excursion conditions. 18. The #1 budget leak cruisers never notice. Here's the truth most cruisers completely overlook. Daily automatic gratuities quietly drain hundreds from your budget without you realizing it. You might think the cost of meals, excursions, or drinks is the main expense, but these service charges are relentless and predictable. For example, a $15 daily gratuity per passenger doesn't seem like much, but for a family of 4 on a 7-day cruise, that's already $420. And it's applied automatically to your onboard account, often without clear emphasis at booking or check-in. 2 small charges, 1 massive impact. Seasoned travelers manage this by tracking gratuities from day one. Some prepay optional charges when possible. Others monitor daily statements to stay ahead of surprises. The key is awareness. Noticing these fees early turns a passive cost into a controlled budget item. Track daily gratuities immediately. Plan for them to avoid shock at checkout. You think small indulgences are harmless, but specialty dinners, spa treatments, and minibar snacks quietly add hundreds to your cruise budget. Here's how to spot and control these hidden costs. 19. Specialty dining, spa, and minibar charges that destroy budgets. You walk past the buffet thinking meals are covered, then the minibar calls, a spa voucher glimmers, and suddenly your planned budget is bleeding. Many cruisers underestimate specialty dining, spa treatments, and minibar charges, thinking they're optional luxuries, but they quietly inflate total spending far beyond expectations. For instance, ordering one specialty dinner at $45, a $10 spa add-on, and a few minibar snacks each day can add $100 to $150 per passenger over a week. Two small indulgences, huge cumulative effect. Many only realize at checkout that what seems small has doubled their anticipated costs. The solution is simple. Track every additional charge daily, prepay when possible, and plan indulgences strategically. Some apps let you monitor your onboard account in real time, while others use simple spreadsheets. Awareness is power. Tiny daily habits prevent huge end-of-cruise surprises. Monitor every incidental charge and prepay optional services to stay in control. 20. Hidden resort fees and checkout traps. Even if you've tracked everything perfectly, the last day of a cruise is a hidden minefield. Cruise lines sometimes add port taxes, resort fees, and miscellaneous charges that aren't obvious until final billing. Guests who assume the final bill will match their running total often face shock at checkout. For example, a family might see $25 to $50 in port taxes per person, added service surcharges, or fees for late luggage pickup. Even small last-minute minibar or room service charges can inflate the total by hundreds. 2 overlooked fees. 1 costly surprise. The smart approach. Audit your final statement carefully. Reconcile every charge and keep receipts or screenshots of prepaid services. If something looks off, guest services can adjust immediately. If you wait, refunds become difficult. Planning ahead and knowing exactly what to expect ensures the cruise ends as smoothly as it began. Review all final charges line by line. Don't leave the ship without confirming totals. After learning all of these insider tips, you now know the quietest cabins, the exact fare drop windows, how to hack tender lines, and which hidden fees silently drain your budget. Each secret isn't just trivia, it's a tool for a smarter, calmer, and more cost-effective cruise. Remember, this isn't about luck or guesswork. It's about understanding rhythms, crew routines, embarkation patterns, Wi-Fi cycles, and port timing. The more you anticipate, the more control you gain. 2 rules. Observe the ship, plan strategically, and you'll transform your experience from chaotic to seamless. And here's the best part. These insights compound. Apply just a few and suddenly meals, shore excursions, and even late-night movements feel intuitive. You're no longer reacting, you're navigating the cruise like a seasoned insider. This video is for informational purposes only. It is not professional travel, medical, or financial advice. Always consult qualified experts before making decisions. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.